people? Welcome in. The Joystick
What
Chronicles,
up?
episode 19. We're almost at the
Boys.
20 mark.
Girls.
Boys and girls,
The
welcome in.
squad. Hello? Hello,
Yeah,
Kevin.
you can hear me, right?
I can actually hear you.
We are once again dealing with Matthew Lyon, technical difficulties. What else is new?
Whoa!
Turn that volume off. What are you doing?
It's our stream.
All right, so here's the deal. We were just trying to pull up Discord, get the audio rolling. Video's looking great. We're up. But then this one, if you're looking at the screen right now, this one to my right cannot figure out the audio. It seems like every time we get ready to podcast, I'm on, ready to go. He gets on, getting ready, but audio's not there. So I need you to get your PC built, get everything ready to go, and have your own setup because everything's just going to be so much better once that actually happens. And I know I'm preaching to the choir.
I watched an hour-long video of how to build a PC. I watched the entire thing.
I love it.
Because I wanted to live vicariously through a person that can actually build their own PC.
I love that.
Because I can't.
Whose video did you watch?
Oh man, what's his name? Bitwit?
Bitwit? Yeah.
Bitwit.
I like him.
I probably saw this video.
Yeah, I watched a bunch of his videos. Who else? Robitech, obviously Linus Tech Tips.
Yeah. Jay-Z 2 Cents.
Yeah, Jay's 2 Cents is good. There's a bunch of them that I definitely learned a ton about computers when I was first building mine. And I highly recommend you just go look at pretty much all those guys if you're looking to build a PC, and they will give you the whole rundown of how to do it. And you will learn a lot. That is for sure. So I'm glad you're doing that. I'm really excited for you to get this thing built, put it together, and you're going to limit all of your technical difficulties because recently you don't even have a watch on. I've got the watch here. There you go.
Today's the 22nd.
7:35, 8:35 for you.
Yep.
But
yep. Just checking the date, because my graphics card should be coming in sometime soon.
You got about a week and a half, something like that.
April 2nd, apparently.
April 2nd.
I don't know if I trust it.
Could get backed up again. We'll see.
It could.
But all you know is that it's been secured, so that's a good thing, and we're going to roll with that, and I'm excited for it to actually come together because I'm sick and tired of your technical difficulties here.
Yep. You know what I'm tired of is getting my mic out every single time I want to record our podcast. I'm going to get one of your fancy little arms.
You just got to have it set up, ready to roll.
Yeah, so then I don't have to do anything.
The one thing,
couple buttons.
The one thing that I don't like about this, if I have one complaint, and it's a USB mic, so it's just plugged in the back of my computer. The only problem, I haven't actually looked into it, though, to figure out why it's happening, but I have to unplug it and then plug it back in every time my computer turns off. So it doesn't just automatically pick it up as an audio source. So in order for it to actually work, plug it back in. It's really easy, and it's like the most minimal problem that you can have, but it's kind of a pain in the butt.
Do you turn your computer off every time you stop using it?
I do. The only reason is because it's in our bedroom, and Christy is so sensitive to any sort of light when she's trying to sleep that she will complain about having the fan lights and the underglow on if she is trying to fall asleep. Sometimes you can kind of see, I'm going to rotate my mic. There's this little light
green
right here.
Dot.
There's a little red dot. That sometimes when the mic is off, sometimes it flashes when it's still plugged into the computer, and she'll complain about that. And I'm like, dude, come on. You got to chill.
Put a piece of tape over it or something. I don't know.
I have sometimes if I'm uploading our YouTube videos, it takes a terribly long time just because my internet's really not that great. So I'll put a sock over. I'll turn all the lights off in my PC, but then I'll put a sock over the power button because the power button will flash just white when it's on, and I'll put something over it so she can't complain about having the light on the wall because I know she will. So that's really the only reason why I turn it off. I could just turn all the lights off and just keep it in stealth mode, quote unquote, but it's just easier to shut it down, fire it back up afterwards.
Electricity? I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not pulling electricity. I feel like when it's in sleep mode or something, it's really not pulling much. But Yeah, so that's what I do. And
You wouldn't think so.
no, when I have like an actual office after we move and into a bigger place, not anytime soon, but then I'll probably just leave it in sleep mode and fire it right on up whenever I need to use it. But for now, that's the plan.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm checking some scores.
Scores because
right
we are
now,
sad.
as we record this podcast, I'm trying to live through other teams. And go SEC. LSU is currently tied with Michigan. Oh, no. LSU just went up 58-55.
How much time's left in that game?
11 minutes, 53 seconds in the second half.
Okay. So there's still a good amount of time left. Yeah, the Big Ten not having a good tournament at all.
Big Ten looking real overrated right now.
So the problem that I feel like it's not, I don't want to say overrated. I just want to say like horrendously underperform, because it was by far and away the best conference in the league. There's no denying that, or not the league, in all of college basketball. I don't think there's any denying that. They, besides Gonzaga, pretty much had a presence in the top 5 of all year, and I don't think any other league could say that. I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but that's just one little piece of knowledge there. But, I mean, the way that these teams in the Big Ten just beat up on each other all year, I think it had something to do with the lack of competition, really, that they were able to bring to the table for the tournament, and it was rough. I mean,
they got annihilated.
Yeah, pretty much everybody at one point has gotten annihilated. Michigan is obviously in the middle of a close game right now. Still got some time. I do not like Michigan at all, especially after this year. But just for the sake of the Big Ten having some representation, I want Michigan to win that game, because we want somebody at least from the Big Ten in the Sweet 16. So hoping that'll happen, I guess. I kind of cringe saying that because I don't like Michigan at all. But I'm sad. My Illini lost.
We didn't start with. I was gonna say we didn't start with both Tennessee and the Illini lost. Not very good fashion. Tennessee lost in the first round. Oregon State. Now, I will say, the only thing that makes me okay with this right now is that Oregon State, as a 12 seed, is now going on a run. Mm-hmm. Now, it doesn't make the loss any better because we played like garbage, but it makes me feel better that they beat first round. They beat us first round, then they beat Oklahoma State.
It was a good team. Cade
Cunningham.
Yeah, he's projected to be like the number 1 pick in the draft.
So I'll take that. Then Oregon State's got to go on and play,
Loyola.
I don't know now. Loyola. What a weird matchup. A 12 and an 8.
It should have been
12
us.
and an 8. Oh my God. And your line, I feel so bad. I felt so bad for you because I know that feeling. Like, we came out completely flat and just got beat. I mean, it wasn't even close for us, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of kept it competitive, but not really. Yeah, you guys got smacked too. It's not good. You know what was sad? It was like, I thought, honestly, I don't know if it's really necessarily Illinois' fault. I felt like Loyola came with a very good game plan and they executed it to perfection.
Yeah, there was no.
They didn't make mistakes.
No giving them. They got. I'll tell you what. Every ball rolled positively for them.
Sure.
Their defense was spectacular. They hit
their shots.
Complete
when they
lockdown defense. There was like literally no penetration by us, which is very rare because we've got guys who are able to drive through the lane and just get to the basket so easy. Ayo Dosunmu was essentially rendered irrelevant that game.
Non-factor.
9 points and 6 turnovers. Like, that doesn't happen ever.
Yeah, that's gross.
There was Adam Miller. It seemed like he was the only one who showed up to play that game, and that's just not enough when you're playing the number 1 defense in college basketball. Everyone's saying that Loyola was underseeded. I don't know if they were technically underseeded because they really didn't have any great wins this year. I think they beat Drake. They beat someone else who was in the tournament, but not like a showstopper. I mean, Illinois had 12 quad 1 wins this year, and they were expected to make a run, and they did not show up. And you just can't do that in the big, or not in the Big Ten tournament. You can't do that in the NCAA tournament. No, nope. And it hurt. It was a very abrupt end. That was just like, oh damn, this sucks.
You're getting teams that are just like rolling, and it's just momentum. Like
this year specifically, that was such a weird year for basketball with this tournament. Like think about like Oral Roberts,
Abilene Christian.
Abilene Christian, that's a great one. I mean Loyola. I mean Loyola's got some Final Four
Oregon State,
experience.
even North Texas. So they all got out of their first games.
Such a weird year. Tons of double-digit teams who are making it.
Syracuse.
Yep. So they were what, in 11? Something like that?
Syracuse was in 11.
So it's interesting.
Syracuse beat San Diego State to start. Then they beat number 3 West Virginia, and now they are playing the number 2 seed Houston in the Sweet 16.
Sad.
It is sad. What could have been?
Honestly, though, like this, I feel like Illinois had a once-in-a-decade team. And, I mean, there's still a possibility that Kofi comes back next year. He's definitely going to put his name in. He's definitely going to put his name in the draft. I don't think he's a first-round pick right now. So I feel like if he comes back for another year to develop even further, it would really benefit him. But, like, man, no one's going to blame that kid if he goes and gets his bag, gets drafted, and plays in the NBA. Like, he absolutely could do that. And, like, you think about, you have such a talented team. These 2 kids, Ayo and Kofi, coming back. Kofi's almost just like, okay, like, if we can't do that with Ayo and me, why would I come back again if we don't have Ayo and we don't necessarily have that, like, showstopper talent next year? I mean, they're still going to be a great team. Don't get me wrong. But, like, if Kofi comes back, they're automatically another Big Ten title contender. And who knows, man? It's going to be interesting.
Double-double.
Sad end to the year. But we move on. We get over it. That's sports. Only one team can win.
I've still been watching. Usually I don't. After we lose, it's hard for me to keep my interest. But it's been a very interesting tournament.
Oh, yeah. I've absolutely been watching. I watched the Gonzaga game today. I watched Iowa lose. That was kind of a shocker.
Yes.
Oregon, especially after...
My buddy's an Oregon fan. He's pumped. He thought they were going to get smacked.
I mean, I thought they were too, especially after not having to play their first game because VCU and the Oregon VCU game was called a no contest because of COVID protocols. So VCU had to just go home. How bad is that? You make the tournament and then you can't play your game and the other team gets to advance. I mean,
honestly,
good on Oregon for not playing a game and just coming out and I don't want to say wipe the floor with Iowa. But, I mean, they ran away with it at the end, and they looked good.
Yeah. I think they beat them by...
it was, I think, 15? Something like that?
15.
Yeah, I was watching it as I was working this morning. So it was definitely a good game.
Yeah, Oregon looked good. What I wonder is, I think VCU probably broke the bubble or something, I'm guessing.
I don't know. They said for...
We'll find out.
I don't think we will because they said for just legal reasons, for privacy concerns, we can't elaborate on the situation. So they're keeping it in-house, at least
Maybe
the NCAA
not.
is. So I don't think we'll find out. But, I mean, sucks for the guys who got there and were in the bubble and couldn't even play. So it's unfortunate. It is what it is this year, specifically with all these COVID protocols that these teams are having to deal with. But... like I said, it is what it is. It's sadness. March sadness all around. Pain, sadness, darkness, suffering.
Darkness.
Only one team out of the field of 64 can win. So kind of sucks. It's the harsh reality of the team or of the tournament.
I know, pretty soon.
So, all right, we're going to move on. Enough about sports. One cool note that I saw today that I think you brought up as well, Xbox has got a little bit of a rebranding going on. I know you mentioned it, so why don't you elaborate?
So Xbox is rebranding from, let me make sure I have this right. I think it's Xbox Live to Xbox Network. Which I don't, just on the surface before we get into it, it feels weird to me. I get it. I get the rebranding, but at the same time, we've known Xbox Live for how long now?
So long, since the Xbox 360 days. Was that the first Xbox Live console? Original Xbox didn't have Xbox Live, did it? I honestly don't know.
I don't think the original did.
I never had it, so I don't know. I think it was the start. I think it started with 360.
Yeah, it had to, right? 360? When did the 360 come out?
360
Let's take a guess.
2005.
Do we know? Is that for sure?
I'm pretty sure. We've talked about it before.
Xbox 360. Yep, 2005. Wow.
Ding, 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 ding. So, I mean, you think about it, we're 16 years in. And that's a long-standing brand that they've got going. So,
changed it.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird because I mean, people are for so long have been calling it Xbox Live. They're gonna continue to call it Xbox Live. So I think they're gonna have to do a pretty big branding push here to really get people to say Xbox Network and for Xbox Network to actually stick.
Yeah, I just think it's because they're offering so many more things now. It's no longer just one thing. It's kind of like an umbrella. Xbox Network. There's like multiple things under that umbrella.
Yep, I agree. Definitely opens the door for what they can provide, and that's a big thing nowadays. Especially you think about like all the OTT services and streaming and what is all out there. Like you look at the NFL, they just got all their media rights deals finalized for the next 11 years. It's $113 billion of revenue that they're bringing in, and there's a huge streaming emphasis in that deal because ESPN's got ESPN Plus. They're going to have streaming rights. Amazon with all their streaming rights is now baked into that. There's a big portion. There's quite a bit, and I think they've got an opportunity here to get into the streaming game with Xbox Network, and I think it's set up pretty well to do so. So we'll find out. Game Pass is obviously going to have a big portion of that. And then we're dealing with some more technical difficulties on Matt's end because he's frozen again on me. Oh, you're not frozen now. You were frozen for a while. I can kind of hear you.
Yay, I'm back. Hello.
Look at that. I just talked right through it.
I could hear you.
Could you?
I was kind of just chilling.
It was just your video was frozen on me. But I mean, I bring up Game Pass because EA Play now is available in Xbox Game Pass. And that's huge for PC players because that just opens up a huge opportunity for more titles to be accessible through PS or through PC. And I mean, I haven't seen the full list, but if you look up EA Play, there's a ton of games that you can now play through Game Pass. And you pay $15 a month, you got access to everything that's available through Xbox. And then you've got now all of the EA games that you can get through EA Play just by paying that $15 a month. So there's a lot of access just for that $15. So I think it's a really cool thing that they're doing. Definitely a good business move, and definitely a good thing for all these PC players.
Hey, I missed like half that, but I will say, I don't know if you mentioned this, but Bethesda
build your PC already, damn it.
EA Game Pass. What?
I said build your PC already, damn it.
Bethesda now being part of Xbox whatever Game Pass and all that.
Yeah,
that's another big move.
Yep, definitely a big move. They get all their titles too. So I mean, Xbox is really just amassing a huge library of titles for people to play all in one space. It's pretty much, I mean, you think about Xbox Network now, it's essentially turning into Netflix for gamers.
Mm-hmm.
You pay $15 a month. What's Netflix now? I think it's like 17. But you've got all these titles you can play. You're streaming them. I personally think, yes, they have their hardware, the consoles, and all of that. But now opening this all up to PCs, they haven't done necessarily something with like how you can do it on tablet. I'm thinking like Stadia, how their thought process is like, if you have a screen, you can play video games. It's not quite there, but I think they're doing it a little bit scaled back. And quite frankly, I think they're going to do it better. Not necessarily the same way, But I think they have a better opportunity to make it look more immersive with the amount of titles that they're going to have. So I'm really curious to just keep tabs on how this evolves. And I mean, at some point, I'll probably do Xbox Game Pass. We'll see what titles they get in here with, especially with EA Play. Like, I mean, if we can get like the Madden games and FIFA and all that, I honestly haven't looked, so I don't even know if it's available through EA Play. But if they are on PC, absolutely I'll play that. We can play some FIFA games once you get your PC built, because I love FIFA.
I currently we just bought FIFA over the weekend. I didn't tell you that.
Oh, did you?
Yep. I was playing with Matt was on and Ryan was on, so we're bored of had to take a break from Warzone, which we'll get into in a little bit.
Yeah.
Just needed we all needed a little bit of a break. But yeah, we played FIFA 21's like $20 right now.
Oh, nice. I mean, you remember was it like FIFA 15 or 16 or something? You used to kick my ass in that game.
I like FIFA.
Pretty much.
I'm so good at it. It's kind of weird. It's just like picking it up again. It's the same
it's
thing
like riding
every time.
a bike.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I mean, I was crushing people. I was making people. I decided to play just the regular like seasons, and I was making. I think I made 4 people quit, and I won the season already. I was like, "All right, I'm back."
I love that. Welcome back. It's like riding a bike.
Hey, let's take this back, because you know what? You may not have had a question of the day. You didn't even mention it.
I did. I just haven't gotten to it.
I have a question of the day.
I kind of just let it go. So why don't you fire away, and I'll save mine for next time, because mine's not topic based. It's just kind of a random one.
Mine's random.
All right. I love it.
If you were given $5 million to open a small museum, what kind of museum would you create?
A museum? Interesting.
$5 million. It has to be small. I'm thinking the way that I would go with this is you would make the building pretty small, but you have to spend a lot of money on whatever you're showcasing.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, you're going to the museum to see the artifacts and to see what's there. You don't necessarily really care about the building. I mean, think about like when I think about like musicians and artists and all of that, like they'll host like showcases in warehouses that have like spray paint all over the walls. Like that doesn't matter. So you just pick up a warehouse. Honestly, man, I don't know. It's kind of hard.
I feel like it's got like, okay, what's a hobby that you really like that you could dive into?
I would say either like fitness and weightlifting or video games.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Because if you go the fitness route, like if you could like secure weights from like Schwarzenegger,
or like different theories that like people had, like there's very different concepts of weightlifting.
Oh man, that's
an exercise.
Like you can pull in CrossFit, you can pull in Olympic weightlifting, you can pull in bodybuilding. So that's one way to go, which I think is really interesting. Video games is another one.
Video games would be more topical for our lifetime, because really like started with like Pac-Man or whatever, all the way back. Pong. Yeah, you start from Pong and work your way all the way up.
Pong. I mean, you get the Atari, you get Sega.
Ooh.
You get
like a interactive one. Interactive museum that they could play all the like the coolest games from each year.
Like a VR version of Pong. You just get a big open room and 2 people with VR headsets, and they have to run around. That's going to get pretty dangerous. We're going to need some waivers and some good lawyers. We might be spending half of that $5 million on lawyers for that. But, I think it's an interesting concept. So okay,
it's just basically tennis, but
yeah. So I hate to kind of have a cop out here, but I don't necessarily want to choose one because I know it's not happening.
I think we've talked through it enough.
I think both would be interesting. Do you have something different that you would choose, or are you kind of along the same lines?
No, because I just thought through your own idea, which is something I'm also interested in. So.
All right. I like that. That's a good question. I've got another one. We're not going to talk about it because we'll get us back on track.
Save it for next week.
I'll save it for next week. But yes, you did catch me in 4K right there because I had one ready. But we just kind of dove right into
skated right past it.
We did. We just dove right into the basketball conversation. I was like, all right, well, I don't want to interrupt us and get us derailed here. So thanks for doing that.
Back at it.
Back at it again. All right. Well, it actually was a little bit of a good stopping point because we can get into the meat of our discussion here. Because I want to say just about an hour ago, thanks to our friends at Modern Warzone,
big shout out to them, by the way, because I feel like we've kind of followed Modern Warzone as it's not as they've been created, but I feel like it's only been up like this year, and they're leaking some really good content and stuff like that.
I mean,
anyway,
the guy who runs it, his name is Doug, and he does a really good job with everything. And I mean, he's got writers now for the website, and I mean, he's really growing. So it's awesome to see. He's doing some good things over there. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But he just released via Twitter that the 2021 Call of Duty title is going to be a World War II game, and it's going to be called, supposedly, Call of Duty World War II Vanguard. And I'm kind of excited about it, to be completely honest. I know a lot of people are going to have mixed feelings about World War II. One thing that he actually did say was people are just going to continue to complain. It's like, okay, another World War II title.
They complain every Call of Duty game and buy it anyway. So,
but how many actual titles have they made about World War II? That was my question. And he was like, I think there's only been one or two. So I pulled up the list, and I mean, in 2017 there was Call of Duty World War II. So I mean, yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pull up. I just pulled.
I didn't ever have it.
I don't think I did either. But like
I had World at War.
World at War was
God
I
5.
actually. I'm not even gonna lie. I loved World at War. I think I was in the minority for that, but I really did like COD 5. But other than World at War and World War II, I'm trying to think. Was the original one? Was that World War II? It's only a couple. So everyone who's complaining about having a World War II based game, get over it, because I'm excited. And it's interesting just to see them now go back in time even more, because you think with the start of Warzone, you're modern warfare, then you go to the Cold War, and now we're going back to World War II. So it'll just continue to implement older and older guns, and we'll see how they do it. I mean, it's like essentially Cold War all over again with the implementation. I think it's, who knows, man. I'm excited. I'm just happy to at least have a title, have something to talk about with this. It has been confirmed Sledgehammer Games is going to be the developer for it. So Sledgehammer hasn't developed a title for Call of Duty since Call of Duty World War II in 2017. So that's going to be interesting, because a lot of people were speculating of whether or not it's going to be either Advanced Warfare, maybe World War II. So it sounds like the confirmation has come. It is World War II. It's not going to be Advanced Warfare. Some people may be upset that they're not going to get their jetpacks. But me personally, I would rather play in World War II than with jetpacks. That's just my personal preference.
Yeah, I'm good on the jetpacks, Chief.
Chief. Don't necessarily need more Advanced Warfare.
World War II is going to be very interesting. They did say, I mean, there's going to be Warzone maps for the next 5 years of COD titles. So be very interesting to see what they do with this. I don't know what Vanguard means. I don't know. Do you have any idea what that means?
I'll just Google it.
But I was reading through, and they're talking about they're thinking it'd be after 1947, or like part of the game would be in the 1950s, which historically that's not when World War II was. That'd be the Korean War.
Yeah, so that's an interesting kind of piece to this puzzle that's being put together, and something that Modern Warzone had talked about in their article was, will this title essentially have an alternate plot line, kind of separate from World War II and not necessarily end in, was it 1947 when World War II officially was over? Because, there's been leaks saying that the title will take place in part of 1950. So will it continue on past World War II, the official World War II timeline, and be kind of its own storyline that they drag out throughout the years? So that'll be something to keep an eye on. And really, whether or not we actually see that in game, I feel like we probably won't, but who knows? And I did look up Vanguard. It is the foremost part of an advancing army or naval force. So makes sense. The Vanguard of the army.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so definitely going to have a lot coming up on this because we will just continue to have more leaks, more rumors. So keep an eye out on the Modern Warzone Twitter page, if I can speak. He even tweeted earlier today. He's like, "You're going to want to have notifications on tonight." So lots coming from that we're going to be able to talk about. But what else we can talk about here is that we are now 1 month away from the new map, supposedly. Which we've been talking about forever. And
help!
I think you brought up a really good point just 10 minutes ago, saying that you were tired of Warzone and needed a break. Because I feel like we're all kind of feeling that way right now. And even I've felt like, okay, this is kind of a lull period. They're dragging out the zombies, which I didn't want them to do. I thought they can do this very quickly with an actual event in-game and just have them spread across the map and then nuke them. But they're doing it one POI at a time.
One event.
So, they've gone from the boat. They've gone from... And you think about when zombies were introduced. What was that, 3 weeks ago? I could be wrong. Could be 2. But I think it's 3 weeks ago. And then now they went to prison. And then they went to hospital, which I think was just kind of a weird path because...
It doesn't make any sense unless they're just trying to speed it up and get them to dam.
Yeah, but
there's no the timeline doesn't make sense. They haven't dropped any teasers about them going to hospital. Next thing I know, they're just at hospital. It's
well, I think there was a little bit, at least from the official Call of Duty Twitter page, that they were at hospital. And interestingly enough, they are sending some of their COD creators just little teasers before they went to prison, they sent some of the COD creators orange sweatpants that said inmate, and then before they went to hospital, they sent them scrubs. So they're doing little teasers like that, which we've talked about how they had done that with the creators before, how Nick Merckx got that chess piece of the pawn. So that I guess is cool, but I feel like it's not that much of a big deal, and people really aren't paying too much attention to that. And I feel like it's just in such a lull right now. And there are
for the normal COD player, for their target market, they're not really paying it. I play this game a lot, and it seems very, very slow to me. If the whole idea is they're sending out content or sending out teasers and stuff to their content creators and that makes them excited, that's great. But for the rest of us, we're playing the game all the time, and it's just zombies just showed up at hospital. It's they didn't scratch off the previous locations. It's still it's only hospital right now.
Yeah, you would think
one
that
subset of zombies, and that's it.
You would think that they would keep the zombies at the place that they were already at, and they would just spread. So it is... The shipwreck is now scratched off red. Prison, scratched off red. Hospital, scratched off red. That's not the case. It's just moving, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Just one small horde of zombies that are going from one place to another. That's it.
And not in any geographical order, because they skipped farmland, they skipped port, they skipped downtown, and they went to hospital. What? How? Why? So.
Oh my god. Excuse me.
So that really doesn't make any sense. And I mean,
I don't
even
know.
the computers that we had talked about, that the 5%, they're still at 5%. So
Still 5%. So what's that about? Is it just going to go 5 to 100 and then we're going to blow the map up?
0 to 100 real quick.
Yep.
So I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know, man.
But April 22nd, 1 month from today, is the end of the Season 2 Battle Pass. And that is the rumored date of a new map coming to Warzone. We've had, I think, 6 rumored dates now, so I'm not going to get my hopes up. But I am still probably subconsciously going to get my hopes up, and I'm hoping I'm not disappointed about it. And I want a new map to play. It's been over a year now. Would you have thought when Warzone was released, if I were to have told you in over a year, say a year and 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whenever the date was, you would still be playing the same map. You would not have any additions. What are you trying to say?
Been 0 in-game events.
Yes. You get
in-game events all the time for Fortnite, and that's what all these people have switched from. We've had none.
0 map changes other than you get a train, which nobody uses. You get a subway system, which no longer exists. You get bunkers that you have to have codes to access, so not everybody can get into them, and now they're all locked. You get some missile silos, which, great. They're kind of cool, I guess. I mean, we drop in them when we're in a pinch and need some money and hope they're not looted. But otherwise, who's dropping on those? So no significant changes. And you still don't have an anti-cheat, at least a good one. You still are dealing with cheaters, which seems like every other game.
Pause. Before we get to the cheaters, I will acknowledge on a positive note, because that's who I am, that I do think that it's very interesting that, you know, the sculptures that have been there since we first dropped into Verdansk have now turned into missile silos, because that does show there has been a plan since the beginning. Very cool. But at the same time, continue on. Cheaters.
I don't know. I kind of want to combat your point there and say, has there been a plan from the beginning? Because it's been a year, and those didn't show up until a whole year later. So are they just trying to figure this out?
I'm just talking about the missiles, because I feel like those sculptures are pretty pointless unless you have a plan to make them into missiles at some point.
It's an ode to Zanzibar.
Zanzibar. God, I don't know. Yeah, there's still cheaters in the game. There's like waves of them, you know,
the ban
banning
waves,
them.
Which I mean, personally, I really don't feel like the ban waves are doing a whole lot. Great that they're doing.
It's not doing anything. They can create their free accounts.
Yeah. So I mean, we've talked about it. There's plenty out there that we know about, all these websites and cheats and hacks and whatever you want to call them. It sucks. It is what it is. I don't think we're gonna get an anti-cheat because it's so not ingrained into the world of Call of Duty with the engine, and it kind of sucks, to be completely honest. I think cheaters, a lot of people have jumped ship on Call of Duty just because of that, and I think it's very possible that a good amount of more people do if they don't find a solve. I mean, I was reading through Twitter, and some of the first replies to some of these leaks was, well, it's not going to change the fact that you still have a ton of cheaters in your game and you're not going to do anything about it. So maybe Battlefield 6 is the play.
Battlefield 6? I don't know. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I definitely want to. I'm excited to see.
I'm not against it.
No, and I'm excited to see what comes out for Battlefield 6 and what all new information we're going to get here, like about a release date, and it's just some more some in-game footage and pictures there. So I think it's going to be a really fun game. Battlefield always was a lot of fun, and who knows, maybe Battlefield 6 kind of takes over as like if they can do it right, it takes over as like the flagship battle royale in the coming years or months or whenever it's coming out. I can't remember when we had talked about it actually coming out. But that would be really interesting. Another one that we've obviously talked about and are really hoping for a battle royale is Halo. If Halo Infinite can get it right, then
they get all my time.
Boom, instant winner right there. I mean,
all my time, all my money.
Yeah.
Done.
I've said it before. I would love for us to be able to switch back and forth between Call of Duty or Halo, and when you're trying to figure out what are you going to play that night, and it's not just like, all right, when's everyone getting on Warzone? It's what do you want to play? Because when was the last time we had that? It's been a long time.
And we had that for a long time.
A long time.
Would just be able to switch between COD and Halo. And
absolutely.
It was almost an issue because
couple games of Halo not going well. You say, all right, we're going to switch to COD. Somebody who doesn't want to switch and said, all right, sorry, see you later.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, if you've got a full squad already in COD, and it's like, all right, well, I'm just going to go play Halo by myself because it's more fun to play when you're alone because they actually have a good ranked system.
They did. Wouldn't that be nice if they brought that system back?
I'd love it, man. I would absolutely love it.
I think it's not as inclusive to the bad gamers, unfortunately.
I don't think
they make more money when bad gamers want to keep playing their game.
Yeah,
just saying.
You're not wrong. I mean, it's fun. It's always funny to see. I think it was FaZe Pomage. He had talked about on Twitter how he was. He had played, I think, like on his stepdad's PC, in Cold War, and he's like, it's just a completely different game, playing on somebody else's account that is not as good as I am, because of skill-based matchmaking, and I'm just going off on these games because people are not good.
Everybody's terrible.
Yeah, so like that's really interesting. I mean, for me, you kind of just have to know what you're getting into when you're going into a ranked playlist. So, I mean, yeah, if you're not good at it, it just kind of is what it is, and you may not level up and you may not rank up, but you've always got that social playlist that you can play. At least in Halo, it was social Slayer versus
social
versus ranked. So,
it was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, going into a social game to warm up and then jump right into ranked, like that was my favorite thing.
Oh,
absolutely, always my favorite thing, because you just go and you destroy in these games in social, and then you get into ranked and it gets so competitive. Like that's what I loved. That is how, to me, I felt like multiplayer could survive. Which now you're kind of seeing it in Valorant, because I mean, you've got these ranked multiplayer games that people love, and you're actually working towards something which you don't have in Warzone. I mean, we've talked about it I don't know how many times now, but if Halo is only going to have multiplayer and they don't come out with a battle royale, they have to do a ranked playlist. There's no way it'll survive if they don't, because then what are you playing for?
Yeah.
So I don't know if they'll necessarily do a ranked battle royale. That I think is a very interesting concept.
Boy,
but they'll at least have some sort of ranked playlist. It wouldn't be Halo without it.
That'd be a heck of a time.
It would be. That is for sure. Okay, so we've touched on, obviously, Call of Duty World War II Vanguard. I'm excited for that. We will keep everybody updated as we learn more. Make sure to check out Modern Warzone on Twitter. Shout out to them and Doug, who's leading the charge there. He's doing a good job. Obviously, we got hopefully a Warzone map coming out here in 1 month from today, April 22nd. Who knows if it's actually happening. One other thing that I did want to talk about Warzone related is the resurgence of shotguns in the game.
Oh boy.
I don't know if you've really noticed it yet. I have a couple times, but now all these creators are making videos about the Gallo, and they're almost like putting them out and saying, I'm sorry that I'm doing this because everybody's going to be using them now. And it's essentially the Gallo is kind of like the R9 without the Dragon's Breath.
I was watching Symphony play on Sunday morning, and he was testing out the Gallo.
I know Joe put out a video about it today. Tim's been using it for a while.
I will say I don't think at range it's great.
No, I don't think it's nearly as good as the Dragon's Breath was at range, just because you've got that residual damage from the fire.
Right.
But up close, CQB, that thing shreds. That is for sure. And you're going to start seeing it run wild across Verdansk. And
sadly,
I am not a fan of shotguns.
I'm not running it.
No, neither of us are. I mean, my secondary. Well, honestly, my primary and
FFAR,
secondary is the
baby.
FFAR. If I could carry 2 FFARs in my loadout, I would. It's ground loot. I am green FFAR, gray FFAR. It's like that's my favorite thing on ground loot right now. Like just give me multiple, especially with a 25 round clip. You just shoot one, reload, shoot the other. So if I could carry 2 of them that were 50 round mags apiece, oh, I'd be in heaven. But unfortunately, I cannot. So I don't know. I've been a little. I'm so happy with how I'm playing with the FFAR that I'm almost
the AUG is insane.
Yeah, the AUG is good, but I don't know, something about it. I'm not hitting with it correctly. Like I don't know what it is. I
you gotta get used to it. There's a different style that you gotta play with when you're playing with the AUG. A little bit.
Yeah, that's for sure. The problem, at least for me, I think, is that I'm so dominant FFAR when I have both of those in my loadout that I just pretty much keep the FFAR out all the time, and I don't even bother with using the AUG. So it's like, okay, at that point, what am I doing? Because my play style is for the FFAR, so do I put a Kar 98 in my pocket and strictly focus on long range for that? Do I just go ghost at that point and try to get that competitive advantage by being ghosted off the rip and putting a like Diamati's or something in my pocket? And I don't know. I've kind of been feeling a little lost on what to do with the secondary because I've been enjoying the FFAR so much. So that is my current dilemma.
You should try the M16.
Oh, I love the M16. That I think from the initial integration of Modern Warfare and Cold War, the M16 was really like that first gun that I said it's like that thing's gonna rip. I think it's gonna do really well, and I started using it, and I really really liked it. And then at that point, I think I had then moved on to the AMAX, and people started to realize like, oh, the M16 is pretty good, and that's when they also started using it too, and I had kind of already moved on. And like you said, play style, it's a little different when you've got a semi-auto or a burst auto versus a full auto weapon. So I'd kind of just moved on, and I was really really liking the AMAX at that point, which I'll probably go back to at some point. Who knows when the FFAR and the AUG are going to get nerfed. For me, I personally feel like they're not going to do it that soon because they just came out with these awesome reactive camos for them. So it's like, why release these camos, have everybody want to buy them, and then nerf them into the ground? I feel like that's not really worth it. If anything, I think the AUG probably needs to get nerfed more than the FFAR. But who knows? Maybe they'll do both. I don't really want them to.
Man, I just had 22 kill dub as the last game last night, running an AUG and him running an M16. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. It both are good. I think the AUG at this point is a little bit better after the that kind of silent buff that they had to it. But
yeah,
it's interesting to see how those have developed. And at first, I feel like Verdansk was very M16 heavy. Now it's obviously very AUG heavy. So they kind of switched roles there. But I don't know, man. I can't put down that FFAR. I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I don't know what else you run because it beats out the Mac, and the Mac was the move.
Yeah, part of me is almost just like, well,
Mac is still good, man.
I know. Well, and that's the thing. I'm just like, part of me is like, well, if I'm not going to bother with range, then I'm just going to go back to the Mac 10 and have that mobility and just be able to zoom across the map. So maybe I'll do that, give that a shot, and see where life takes me. But that's what I'm dealing with right now, and it's an interesting place. Like you said, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, where I feel like Warzone is very much in a lull right now. And I haven't had like a huge desire to play it recently. and I feel like that's not necessarily the case most of the time. So I'm ready for some new content, and it's kind of sucks that we're gonna have to wait a month for a new map. I'm hoping they do something really exciting with the zombies across Verdansk, and as of right now, it's kind of a buzzkill.
I mean, I'm still enjoying Warzone and I'm still playing pretty well, but I feel like they're doing things that are like trying to annoy people or piss people off in some ways. It's like you still haven't fixed the cheater problem. The circles are terrible. I don't know if
they've gotten
just normal.
I don't know.
It's gotten worse.
At least the last couple days or last week or so, they have just sucked.
They're awful, and I played this weekend, and they were just terrible. It just didn't even make sense.
Half of the initial circle is in the restricted area, and you can't even go to it. So it's like, okay, what's the point? You
condensed everybody down into a small area.
Yeah.
And while we do like hot drops, like I don't want to do a hot drop at lumber and then my final circle is finishing at prison or something. Like, anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I feel like I really don't know if there would be an intent to do this, but if you're trying to annoy people and make people not like the game right now, so then when you drop your new map and it's all exciting and you pull everybody back again,
then they're doing a good job.
Maybe. Sure. Good job. Because certainly doing that to me right now. But I'll be on tomorrow.
He's a slave to the game. All right. Well, I think, honestly, I think that's kind of funny that you're like, all right, I'm going to be on tomorrow. And
actually, I will not be on tomorrow. I will be on Wednesday. But yeah,
I love it. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Good discussion. Obviously, we're both depressed about March sadness. It's been
a good week though.
One loss
looking
is a
forward
little
to
bit
new stuff.
New stuff. Yeah, we got a whole month before new stuff. Speaking of new stuff, real quick, how many boxes do I see in your apartment?
Oh boy, I don't even. I don't want to. I don't need to show everybody what I have in here, but I have 2 box towers. Don't get too excited, people that want to rob me, because I'm moving apartments soon. So I probably have 20-ish boxes.
That just means it's wedding season, baby.
Someone here. Wedding season. We are blessed with we're very fortunate to have such great friends and family. I will say that.
Retweet.
So no complaining about the boxes. Boxes are great because it's all new shit.
Just need a bigger place for all the new shit.
Just need a little bit bigger place. That's all. Working toward that.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up here. Good conversation. Lots coming out here with Call of Duty, especially with Vanguard. Hopefully, we'll get some more leaks in the coming weeks. But we are, fingers crossed, 1 month out from a new Warzone map. I don't have a lot of faith. I've been saying that for a couple weeks now. We're going to find out together. But follow us right here on twitch.tv/the Joystick Chronicles. Thank you for tuning in. We are always on Twitter, also on TikTok at the Joystick Pod, Instagram and YouTube are the Joystick Chronicles. So check us out, follow us, and we will see you guys next time.
Come hang out. We will see you soon. Bye.